Hi, my name is Dulce, and today I'm going to be presenting how sleep deprivation alters the default mode network. First, we're going to talk about what the default mode network is. It is a system of connected brain regions that become more active when we're not focused on the external environment. This includes situations when we're like resting, daydreaming, thinking internally, or recalling different types of memories. When we do need to concentrate on a task or pay attention to the outside world, the activity of this network decreases. And this network is fairly new, it's about a decade old. So there are still some more research to be done about it, but so far, this is what we know. And how does the default mode network is affected by sleep deprivation? When we don't get enough sleep, our brain doesn't communicate as well as it normally should. The default mode network, which is active when we're thinking internally, becomes less coordinated. And because of this, we react more slowly, we tend to make more mistakes, and even have trouble concentrating. Even a simple decision can feel 10 times harder when you're sleep deprived, and our emotions can be less stable, or we can have a harder time managing them. So overall, sleep deprivation doesn't just make us tired, it also affects how our brain works, which impacts our focus and our decisions and our emotions. So when you're sleep deprived, it reduces communication within the default mode network. It decreases coordination and reduce anti-correlation with attention networks. For my research method, I did an fMRI. These research was done with participants completing a social feedback task. They received positive and negative feedback, and they recorded how they felt after normal sleep and after 24 hours of no sleep. So the fMRI showed that after sleep deprivation, certain regions of the default mode network became more active. And that's the picture that I have on the slide right now, especially during negative feedback. It also showed changes in functional connectivity, meaning that the brain regions were not communicating normally. Together, this just shows that sleep deprivation disrupts both brain activity and coordination, leading to increased negative thinking and poor emotional regulations. So for my first level, this study showed that sleep deprivation changes how the brain reduces processes social situations. Um, when people are sleep deprived, their default mode network becomes more active, especially when they receive negative feedback. This makes them focus more on negative thoughts about themselves, and their brain reacts more strongly to criticism. And as a result, they can become less likely to socialize and may withdraw from others. For my level two, this study showed that sleep deprivation reduces connectivity between the posterior cingulate cortex and the anterior cingulate cortex, which those two are key regions of the default mode network. At the same time, it increased connectivity between the dorsal nexus and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is involved in cognitive control. These changes just suggest that the brain shifts how it works and process information, but sometimes the shift is not efficient, which can lead to problems with attention, decision making, and emotional regulations. And then for my third level, this study showed that the default mode network isn't just controlled by brain regions, it's also controlled by brain chemicals. Researchers found that when they stimulated a part of the brain that was connected to the default mode network, it actually changed levels of GABA in another key part of the default mode network, which was the posterior cingulate cortex. They also saw that the stronger the connection between these regions were, the bigger the chemical change. So this just suggests that the neurotransmitters like GABA and glutamate play a key important role in how the default mode network works. Thank you so much for staying with me. I know that was a lot of information. Just a reminder to please take care of your sleep, and thank you so much for listening. And these are my references.